hoped to begin tonight's broadcast once again speaking about domestic affairs. However, the head of Hezbollah, Nasrallah, came out from under his rock tonight and threatened Israel. His threats, once again, are mostly rhetorical. Once again, he's making a bit of a fool of himself. He's threatened to help the Syrians regain the Golan Heights. The Syrian army that is falling apart, that is about to be defeated most likely by the rebels, is going to be helped by Nasrallah and Hezbollah. Nasrallah's threats come after the Israeli supposed attack on arms being transferred to him. Nasrallah is in a very difficult position right now in Lebanon. Suddenly his whole reason for existence is being undermined. After all, the only reason he was accepted in Lebanon is the fact that he was defending Lebanese soil against Israel. If, on the other hand, he's sending his fighters to fight and die for Assad, he is creating more seeds of sectarian violence that's returning to Lebanon. He is losing out quickly. He is backing the wrong horse in the fight in Syria. And ultimately, I believe that Assad will bring Nasrallah down with him. When Assad falls, it will not be long before Nasrallah is in a difficult situation as well. But just the same, he once again brought his threats forth, and the defense ministry here, in their arguments next week about the budget, will no doubt use the threat from the north as a justification for maintaining the defense budget as big as it's been. Meanwhile, as those threats have gone forth, Prime Minister Netanyahu has been enjoying himself in China. He's involved in a 4-day visit to China, a very important visit from Israel, both in terms of economic growth. Israel and China now have approximately $10 billion a year in trade between them. Of course, we buy more from them, like the rest of the world. Our exports to China are $2.5 billion. Our imports are close to $7 billion. There's hope, of course, that our exports will grow. All sorts of trade agreements were signed, including additional Israeli help in the areas of irrigation, water purification, and other areas for China. In the meantime, one of the beauties of being in China is Prime Minister Netanyahu can stay completely out, at least for another day or two, from the budget battles that are taking place here. Right now, it's all taking place on the television screens, with the critics once again continually attacking Finance Minister Lapid over the budget. But we discussed that last night, and it'll be discussed again next week when the budget finally comes before the government for an official vote. In the meantime, one other issue has been brought forth in the last couple of days. The State Controller General, the one who's responsible for investigating problems in the ministries, came out with his annual report 2 days ago. The new Controller General, as opposed to his predecessor, has concentrated on problems in the system. One of the areas that he's looked into has been the problem in the medical system in Israel and the hospitals. 2 different areas he highlighted in the last couple of days. One got the most headlines, that between 4,000 and 6,000 Israelis are dying every year by infections and diseases that they receive in the hospitals. Now, that's a worldwide problem. And the United States, approximately 48,000 people died last year, according to the CDC, from infections and other diseases received in the hospital. However, 4,000 to 6,000 Israelis would translate into a number of close to 150,000 Americans. So the number in Israel is way too high, and there's been a lot of discussion about it. Part of the main reason for that, of course, is the crowding in Israeli hospitals. Thank you once again for joining us. Please subscribe. Good night from Tel Aviv.